Alright, what's going on, you guys? It's Kevin the Full Metal Ginger. Holy damn shit. I don't know why it took me so damn long to do a video. Yeah, I guess I got behind. There was 1 week I remember I was going to do this video and just never could find time to do it. And then I turned around, it's been almost a month. Oopsie. So, yeah, I will try my best not to do this again. Yeah, right. You know, shit happens, I guess. Yeah, I'm going to talk about some death metal today. All these I've been wanting to talk about at least since the first of the year, and I just haven't got around to it. You got some old school shit, a couple of pretty much modern classics, so we'll go ahead and look at them. And I've told you before, man, I don't care if you know who these bands are. If you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. That's fine. I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about, so feel free to fuck right off if you don't like it. Yeah, I don't know why I feel like I need to say that every time, but whatever. Listening to Atrocious Abnormality-Echoes of the Rotting, killer North Carolina brutal death metal band. They're actually not that far away from me. They live down in Gastonia, I believe. And Steve Green also runs Comatose, which is who the band is on. He plays in this. So, awesome shit, man. Nice slipcase, keeps it fucking pristine and purty and doesn't let it get all frigged up, because I'll destroy it, because I am clumsy as fuck somehow. Alright, I'm going to talk about some really good albums, man. Some of these are all of these are small-time favorites of mine. This first one took me forever to finally get my hands on, and I finally did, and then the rest of these are just kind of like, why the fuck have I not talked about it yet? So yeah, man, death metal time, let's fucking do it. This first one I have, again, it's just one that's taken me forever to get a hold of for whatever the fuck reason. I want to kind of lump it in with Aeon. Technically it's the same band, but it's really not. So I'm not going to put it part of their discography. But this is Defaced, Creation, Serenity, and Chaos. As big as an Aeon fan as I am, you'd think I would have had this by now, but I don't know. In terms of the actual Aeon shit, I only need the Dark Order EP, and I'll have everything they've ever put out. This is the only full-length Defaced Creation put out, and everything else was, you know, demos, you know, EPs, bullshit like that. This is the only thing I own by them, so it's really cool to finally have something. But technically, it is the same band. You know, everyone says they split up and went on to Aeon. 4 of the 5 guys went on to Aeon, but I mean, that's not a split up to me. That's a name change. It's kind of like the dude from Grave. I think it was their bass player. They didn't want him in the band anymore, and you know, back when they were Corpse, so they just changed the name to Grave and didn't bother to tell him. I mean, that's kind of what happened here. I don't know what happened here, but I mean, it's virtually the exact same band. If you don't know anything about Defaced Creation or Aeon, they're a Swedish band, but they kind of went with a American-style death metal instead of the Swedish style. So, I mean, this is very reminiscent of Deicide, especially like Once Upon the Cross era Deicide. And it's also got a bit of Sinister in there, too. I mean, it's techy and it's fast, but there's also a lot of hooky elements, a lot of mid-tempo stuff, just really riffing and going off on that shit. Just turn it on and listen to Baptized in Fire, man. That's such a good song, such a good way to introduce the album. It's just, I mean, every fucking song is riff after riff. The one major difference I can think of, and I hate to say this, but I'm not going to fucking pussyfoot around it and blow smoke up anyone's ass, but for as much as I love Aeon, man, they do have some weak songs. Every fucking album has at least 3 or 4 weak songs that I just cannot listen to or do not listen to. I'm sorry to say it, but that's just how it is. But this, man, every album start to finish is, to me, fucking flawless. It's just a great fucking album. Very, again, techy and fast, but very hook-laden, very energetic. You're constantly fucking headbanging to it. And the thing that it always cracks me up, this is a later issue. I forget what the reissue is. Yeah, it's a 2014 reissue. And as far as I'm aware, this is the only version of the album that has this. But the original cover art was just the band members' faces. And I'm like, yeah, I'm so glad they changed that. But the artwork they went with, I mean, it's fucking crazy and cool, but it's like, yeah, let's have some fucking pink and purple and baby blue. Baby blue will be the fucking logo. Just look at that shit. I mean, I absolutely love this cover. It really stands out. It's very bright. It's very pretty, very pleasing to the eye. But it's also very, you know, macabre, man. You got the fucking impaled angels with this Satan thing and Jesus on the cross in the middle. It's fucking awesome, man. But the colors are just like, what the fuck? But I love it. I absolutely love this. Love the album, love the art, everything about it. It's just fucking great. But yeah, man, huge Aeon fan, so I had to have this eventually. Glad to finally have this. This is the Defaced Creation, Serenity, and Chaos. And next up, there's going to be several people like, whoa, I thought you hated that band. Well, at the time I did. I don't want to say I hated the band. This band was just one of those that I don't know why I just wasn't into them. I don't know, maybe I just never gave them enough of a listen, because I was always listening to them off and on, but never all that much, you know what I mean? And I don't know, it's one day it clicked overnight. It's kind of how I got into death metal in the very first place. I remember exactly where I was driving down the road and listened to a particular song, and death metal finally clicked for me. So, I mean, it's kind of like this with this band, but this is their debut full-length, one of two, actually. They only have 2 full-lengths out, considering they've been around since '89. Just putrid, gnarly death metal. This is Embalmer, 13 Faces of Death. I mean, this album sounds like straight-up fucking puke. Just muddy, septic tank-sounding death metal. And as I said at the beginning of the video, all these are some of my favorite death metal albums. This is definitely going to be up there, man. I love this album. I love how disgusting it sounds, you know. It just sounds like pure, straight-up fucking death. And you gotta love the fucking song titles, man. Beheaded Without a Drop Spilt, Limbs in the Grinder, Mutilation at the Altar, Rotten Body Fluids. I don't know, there's just something about these song titles that seem so realistic and so, you know, they kind of create a little bit more of a horror element on their own. And plus you got all the horror movie samples in here going on. It's just a fucking great, well put together album. And again, like I've said, you know, the band has been around since '89. They've had a lot of flux, a lot of lineup changes. They split up for a time, I think, or you call it a sabbatical, whatever you want to call it. So, I mean, they mainly got demos. So there's only this and the new one, which, goddamn it, for whatever reason, I can never remember the fucking name of it. And you guys are all like, oh, yeah, it's that, it's that, it's that. Emanations from the Crypt. There we go. Goddamn it if I can reach it. So I only have that on tape. Love this artwork a lot better, too, but I'll tell you about that in a minute. So, yeah, I guess that's why they only have the 2 full-lengths out, and the rest are demos. But it's whatever, I guess. It's not that really big a deal, but I would love to hear more from this band in terms of full-lengths. But yeah, whatever. Like I said, very putrid style of death metal, man. Guitars are muddy as fuck, but what makes it stand out a little bit better, make it not sound like total ass, is the drums are really, really sharp, really tight. The snare drum is fucking perfect. The vocals are done really well. It's just one of those really well-produced albums where it sounds sharp and technical and, you know, really good in the speakers, but, you know, it comes across as just a filthy, disgusting fucking record. So I absolutely love that about this. My only knock on this really is just the album art. It's just, I mean, the concept is great, but it looks terrible. I think it's fucking god-awful. I get what they're going for, but I mean, just look at the faces. This is so fucking digital. If it wasn't digital, and this is more of a straight-up painting, I think this would be a whole lot fucking better. And I know the light is terrible. I tried to open up the fucking room curtain to let a little bit more natural light in here, but it's not fucking working as usual. I mean, just look at it. It's just, this is a 2006 album, but this artwork looks like it was done in fucking 99 or something, like the early stages of computer art or some shit. I think it sucks. But I don't want that to take away from the album, because it's a great fucking album. It's very well done. You know, it's just, that's really, if I had to knock on something, that'd be that. It just kind of comes across as cartoonish and not very realistic. It doesn't feel realistic, when the rest of the album feels very realistic. That's kind of the point I'm trying to get, but I don't know, man. It's a fucking killer album. The artwork sucks, but, I mean, I love this thing from start to finish. I listen to this fucking all the time anymore. I'm starting to spit now when I talk. Anyway, Embalmer, 13 Faces of Death. Fucking great album. This next one, I picked this up a while back, and it was kind of, okay, here's another band that I don't own anything from, even though I've heard their albums 1,000 fucking times. Why don't you just go ahead and fucking buy it? Oh yeah, that would make fucking sense. So I finally did. This is actually an official release from Nuclear Blast, so it's not like a bootleg or anything. This is kind of a weird dual album, and I didn't realize it was a dual album when I bought it, but it's fine. I kind of get best of both worlds. These are 2 of my favorite albums from this band. I just kind of like, I'd rather have it 2 separate releases, but it's fucking whatever. I'll go back and get them eventually. This is a compilation from Sinister, which features Diabolical Summoning and Cross the Styx. Now, Cross the Styx came first in 1992, Diabolical Summoning in 93. Why Diabolical Summoning comes first on the album, I do not know. That makes no fucking sense to me. I mean, you see it right here. I ain't fucking bullshitting you. It comes first, even though this is the later album. And I don't guess it's that big a deal, but I mean, if I'm going to listen to something like this, I want to hear the earlier work first. Wouldn't that fucking make sense to everybody? Makes sense to me, but it's whatever. Yeah, man, 2 of my favorite fucking death metal albums of all time. Constant hooks in these fucking riffs, man. Constantly headbanging to this shit. If you're an old school death fan, these albums are fucking required listening. For sure, man. It's just so intense, so catchy, so fucking headbangable. It's just fucking awesome, man. Dude, band's out of the Netherlands, so, I mean, they kind of got their own vibe going for sure. My only knock on this, again, I mean, if I have a knock, there's no fucking book. And, okay, I have a compilation, and that's fine. I understand that. I could just go out and get the albums. But still, man, give me fucking something. Don't just give me this shit. I mean, it's cool to have the picture and the CD. I guess that's all you really need, but there's nothing to this. And it's already a goddamn digipack, which I fucking despise. But whatever. I don't know if the original release of this had a book at all. I mean, this is a newer one. I think this is a 2016 reissue. And it's on fucking Metalville, so I've never heard of them. But yeah, man, it's whatever. But if you're not familiar with Sinister, it's just fucking classic, kick-ass, old-school death metal. Very fast, very catchy, very... I don't know, it's just riffy out the ass. Between the two albums, I would have to go across the Styx a little bit more than Diabolical Summoning, and it's just because of the production is better. You know, compared to Embalmer, with this shit, I want to hear it a little bit more sharp, because it comes across as a little bit more bludgeoning, a little bit more brutal. Especially when you have a little bit more technical music here than you have with Embalmer. And it sounds a lot better when it's sharper. So Cross the Styx has that. Diabolical Summoning isn't quite as sharp. But outside of the production value, I mean, their albums are virtually identical in terms of music, in terms of writing, and, you know, all that kind of shit. So they're both absolutely great albums. If you get either one of these, you're not going to be disappointed, I can promise you that. So yeah, just some great fucking albums. I need to go back, and we'll definitely go back and get these separately. I really didn't realize this was a fucking compilation of both albums, but it's cool because I needed both albums, so it's kind of whatever. But yeah, whatever, man. So Sinister, Cross the Styx, and Diabolical Summoning. That's how it should fucking go. I don't know why they did it that way. All right, next up is an album that I've not really seen a lot of people talk about, and I've seen them talk about the band quite often, but I've never really seen many people talk about this particular album, and it's definitely one of my favorites. It's most likely my favorite from this band, and this is another band that I don't listen to them enough. When I do, I fucking love them, so I don't know why they've always been a band that's kind of, in terms of death metal, they're always kind of like in the periphery of my listening, but it's a band I definitely love. This is Incantation-Diabolical Diabolical Conquest. This is their 4th overall full-length, came out in '98, I do believe. And that's the weird thing about Incantation. I don't know why I don't listen to them more. They're one of those bands that, to me, never put out a bad album. I mean, they put out some shit that I don't care as much for, but, I mean, I've never heard anything that I hated from Incantation. And now, granted, I'll be the one to tell you that I've not listened to everything they've ever put out. There's quite a bit in their discography. And, again, they're one of those bands that I just don't pay as much attention to as I should. But, yeah, man, still a fucking killer. It's just the songwriting is so great. John McEntee, however the fuck you say his name, Kyle Severn do a great job in their songwriting. And it's just definitely one of my favorites from them. Very punishing, apocalyptic style death metal. I don't want to say it's got an Autopsy vibe, because these dudes have been around just as long as Autopsy. It's sort of their own style. It's more of like a nihilistic sound. You know, I don't want to say it's doomy like Autopsy is. This is more like there's no hope. You know, fuck the world. We're all gonna fucking die. You know. That's what I get from it. Very nihilistic style death metal. It's just apocalyptic, and, you know, ominous undertones are always there. It just always feels like the Antichrist is awake and hell's on earth and the end is near, you know. But yeah, man, just phenomenal musicianship. John was still on just guitars when this album came out. He's not doing vocals yet, so, I mean, that's kind of, you know, one interesting thing about this. They were just a 3-piece on this one, I do believe. And if I was to redo that favorite album artwork of all time video I did, however many years ago now, this one would definitely be on there. I don't know why I didn't put it on there before. Just kind of because I'm fucking stupid, I guess. But I mean, look at this. It's so damn colorful, so bright, so in your face, but it's also so macabre and disgusting. You got this twisted fucking dude over here. This angel. I mean, there's so much shit going on. It's just, I love looking at this. I love staring at it. And that's the thing with Incantation's fucking artwork. I always love their art. You know, just, I don't know who does it, and I should probably look that up, and I should have for doing this video. And I know all you guys are out there fucking smacking me because I don't know, but I love their art. It's so fucking great. It really says a lot to what the album sounds like, man. You always get a feel of looking at Incantation's art and knowing what the album's going to be about. But, I mean, yeah, it's great songwriting. Again, it's the same old Incantation, but just, it's always done well. Fucking love it. So that's Diabolical Conquest. I don't know why I don't listen to more Incantation, because I'm a fucking idiot. That's why. And last up, goddamn, it's already taking 15 minutes. Another album that I don't know why I haven't shown until now. Just fucking taking me forever, I guess. This is a band that, another one that's kind of like, I don't listen to that much anymore because I don't listen to this kind of style anymore, all that much. But I mean, the ones I still listen to are some of my favorite fucking bands ever. And this one's definitely no exception. This is Devourment-Butcher the Weak. This is obviously the 2006 version of the album. The original was in 05, and they re-recorded it. I think they were having mixing issues. I don't really remember, but it came on the blue background instead of all this yellow, so that's really the only difference as far as I'm aware. Just some brilliant fucking Texas brutal death. Legendary band at this point. I mean, these dudes have spawned so many other copycat bands. Been around for fucking ever. In terms of their albums, this is probably second. I mean, Molesting the Decapitated is just awesome in my opinion. This is probably a very close second. Shit, they might even be fucking tied. I don't know. But just a fucking great album. Brutal death in the vein of, you know, Guttural Secrete, which I love. It's so heavy, so chaotic, so rough around the edges. The blasting never stops. The guttural vocals never fucking stop. Bass and guitars are always fucking frantic, chaotic. It's a style that just never lets up. Just so fucking goddamn heavy. And, yeah, I mean, it's just, to me, it's just kind of a shame that their later work didn't really fucking live up to this. I know there's a lot of bands that have kind of fallen into that trap. I mean, Conceived in Sewage had some great goddamn art, but I just did not think it lived up to this at all. It's just, I thought the album was overall pretty damn boring. But yeah, I mean, it just is what it is, I guess. Again, another band, they've had a few lineup changes as well. Well, not that many. But yeah, man, it's definitely a better album than what they put out recently. And I know, fuck, I don't even know where I was going with that. Anyway, comes in a digipack, so here's the book. And I love the fucking inside of this. It's very cool. Got the X-ray shit. It's all Mortal Kombat-y before Mortal Kombat fucking did it. So I love that. And I do have this shirt. You've probably seen me wear it 10,000 times. And I'm probably going to get in trouble for showing this one. But here's inside the CD tray. Ew. I don't know if you saw that or not. Oh, there it is. So that's disgusting. But yeah, man, just some fucking gnarly, god-awful, fucking wretched, punishing, bludgeoning, disgusting fucking brutal death metal. Awesome shit, man. I know you all know this fucking by now. I know you know all these bands. So, again, I don't care. That's what I want to talk about, so that's what I'm going to talk about. So, fuck yeah, man. That's Devourment-Butcher the Weak. Love it. And, yeah, I've got several more of these fucking to do. I've just been kind of on, like, a death metal feel lately. I've just not listened to much black metal like I normally do in the wintertime, which I normally listen to it out the ass, but I don't know, whatever. So I've got a couple more of those videos coming up. I got an awesome package of fucking 7-inch vinyl to show off, so I'm going to do that soon. I'll try not to fucking put off this shit for another month, but I'm going to shut the fuck up now. You guys can follow me on Facebook and Instagram if you want. Link to subscribe is below. Please check out the links for all these bands, killer bands. They all deserve your respect and attention and all that kind of shit. I'm going to get off here before I fuck this video up anymore. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. Keep supporting extreme fucking metal.